Right now at noon, a man has been arrested in Indiana in connection to a shooting in Beloit earlier this month, and why President Trump is pushing back against Democratic-led investigations on Capitol Hill.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first, meteorologist Dave Caulfield is over in the Weather Center with a look at our first alert forecast. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Mark. We've had the sunshine so far this morning. On radar, we are looking pretty quiet across southern Wisconsin, but just to the south, we are starting to see a little bit in the way of rain shower activity. I think that will miss most of us, but don't be surprised a little bit closer to Kenosha. We do see a few raindrops later on today, but we're kind of sandwiched in between two systems. The first one, that will bring us a cold front later on tomorrow. But for now, I think maybe some higher clouds. That's about it for much of southern Wisconsin. I do think that rain is going to stay just to the south of us, and that is kind of what we're seeing in Madison right now on the WISC-TV Skycam. Some higher cirrus clouds out ahead of that rain that will stay to our south, and also some blue skies. Temperatures are in the 60s pretty much everywhere you look across southern Wisconsin. A little bit chillier near the lake. Milwaukee at 58, Waukesha 57, 61 in Madison, and 65 in Lone Rock, where they've had a little bit more sunshine. Wind speeds out of the south today, not too bad at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your day planner for the rest of this Wednesday, temperatures should make a run into the upper 60s, close to 70 degrees by later this afternoon. And we'll be starting off our Thursday not as cool, with temperatures in the mid 40s. So when I come back in just a few minutes, we will talk about our next chance for showers coming up tomorrow and what looks like a cool and chilly weekend coming up in your first alert forecast.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Dave. Top end of news today, U.S. Marshals have arrested the man wanted for a shooting at Rooney's Pub in Beloit earlier this month. Beloit police say 26-year-old Daniel Blackshear, that is, was arrested in Indianapolis for the shooting. A 36-year-old man was shot inside Rooney's Pub on April 14th. Police say the man had non-life-threatening injuries. A Platteville man has died after a two-vehicle crash in Grant County. Deputies say it happened around 5:15 Monday morning at the intersection of Highways 80 and 81. The Sheriff's Department says 49-year-old Jose James from Milwaukee was traveling westbound on Highway 81 when he didn't see a stop sign and drove through the intersection at a high speed and hit the driver's side of a vehicle driven by 62-year-old Gilbert Trinnell. James was not injured. The Grant County coroner pronounced Trinnell dead at the scene. This is the third fatality in Grant County in 2019, that is. The crash is under investigation. And investigators looking for a 5-year-old A.J. Freund are combing through his family's home in Crystal Lake, Illinois, bringing out a dog, a shovel, a child's mattress, and many bags and storage containers this morning. At the same time, search teams are checking a field and pond in Woodstock, Illinois. A.J.'s parents reported him missing last Thursday morning, telling police they last saw him the night before when they put him to bed. His father, Andrew, spent at least 3 hours at the Crystal Lake Police Department on Saturday. Police later said his mother, Joanne Cunningham, had not been cooperating with the investigation. New security video shows two suspected suicide bombers inside one of the luxury hotels blown up in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday that killed more than 350 people. Police say the men were brothers and sons of a wealthy local businessman who is now in custody, along with more than 50 others. Foreign intelligence agencies repeatedly warned of an upcoming attack, even up to the final minutes. Sri Lanka's president fired 2 of his top security officials in the aftermath. Authorities believe there could be more attacks. The woman accusing newly named Sacramento Kings head basketball coach Luke Walton of sexual assault 5 years ago is speaking out. At the time, Walton was the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors in Oakland. Kelly Tennant was a reporter based in Los Angeles, and she says she was hesitant about going to Walton's room in a Santa Monica hotel, but considering their long history, she felt she could trust him.
Out of nowhere, he got on top of me and pinned me down to the bed and held my arms down with all of his weight while he kissed my neck and my face and my chest.
In a statement, Walton's attorney calls the accusations baseless, saying, quote, "The accuser is an opportunist, not a victim, and her claim is not credible. We intend to prove this in a courtroom." Tennant's lawyers say they are seeking unspecified punitive damages from Walton, as well as an apology. President Trump is pushing back against Democratic-led investigations on Capitol Hill. The president told the Washington Post his staffers should not testify on Capitol Hill. He says they cooperated fully with special counsel Robert Mueller and, quote, there is no reason to go any further, especially in Congress, which is very partisan. This follows a House Judiciary Committee subpoena of former White House counsel Don McGahn, who is quoted in Mueller's report more than 150 times.
Well, we're fighting all the subpoenas. Look, these aren't like impartial people. The Democrats are trying to win 2020.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Congress has the constitutional responsibility of oversight, and she denies the investigations are purely political. Potentially the last big-name runner is about to enter the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. Sources tell CBS News former Vice President Joe Biden will launch his campaign tomorrow ahead of a fundraiser in Philadelphia. The latest polling shows him leading the large field of 2020 Democratic hopefuls with 27%. That's 7% ahead of Senator Bernie Sanders. At 76 years of age, Biden will be the second oldest candidate in what is already a crowded field. Crews are moving forward with the next phase of construction along Verona Road. Southbound traffic is now shifted onto the new interchange ramps from Williamsburg Way to McKee Road. The Verona Road and Williamsburg Way intersection is also now partially closed. Only right turns in and out of there will be allowed as crews work to build a bridge. For area businesses like Liquor Town, this is something that is directly affecting their day-to-day operations.
This back area, the residents, the neighborhoods, they've kind of kept us going. They've supported us over the years. They've been great for us. But a lot of our business does rely on the traffic that goes out here on Verona Road, getting to and from our sign. So that hurts. You know, we've seen the numbers in the last couple of years because of that.
If all goes as planned and the weather cooperates, this part of the project expected to last until sometime in July. Protect your identity and join News 3 Now this weekend for Shredfest. We're offering free document shredding in partnership with Pelletary and the Better Business Bureau. It's at Warner Park this Saturday, April 27th from 8:30 to 11 a.m. For more information, go to channel3000.com/Shredfest. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we're giving graham crackers a leading role in a dessert that's not what you might expect. Any ideas as to what we're whipping up? Over the years, we've used graham crackers in all kinds of recipes. You know, we've crushed them and mixed them with melted butter to create the die-for crust for everything from cheesecakes to homemade pies. And everyone knows that if you sandwich a chocolate bar in a toasted marshmallow, between a couple of them, you end up with ooey gooey s'mores. But today, I want to show you how to make an easy as can be recipe that turns graham cracker crumbs into a cake that's amazing. We begin by creaming some butter and sugar. Once that comes together, we mix in a good amount of graham cracker crumbs, some eggs, baking powder, milk, and a bit of vanilla. Now, after stirring in some coconut and pecans, we spoon this into a baking dish. Over that goes a pineapple glaze, and into the oven it goes to bake. After it cools, get ready for a cake that's packed with flavor, thanks to the graham crackers. And boy, is it ever moist. To get your hands on our graham cracker cake recipe, all you have to do is check out our website. You know, I think you'll really be missing out if you don't try this one. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweet change of pace way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Kelly apparently likes it. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a sunny and warm Wednesday across the area. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has your first alert forecast when we come back. And our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Earnings season kicks into high gear, and parents are draining their retirement funds for their adult kids. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
After hitting new records yesterday, Wall Street spent some time regrouping in the early action today. Investors had a slew of earnings to digest. Among those, Boeing is pulling its 2019 forecast on the heels of its quarterly report card and the grounding of its 737 MAX jets. The company says it earned about $2.1 billion in its latest quarter. Well, that was mostly in line with expectations. It had no orders for the troubled 737 jet since last month's fatal Ethiopian Airlines crash. Previously, that plane was a significant moneymaker for the company. Drugstore chains continue to crack down on the purchase of tobacco products. Rite Aid says it will raise the minimum age to 21 within the next 90 days. Walgreens says it will also increase the age requirement to 21 beginning September 1st. Meanwhile, CVS stopped selling tobacco products in 2014. And parents are having a tough time cutting the cord. According to Bankrate.com, 50% of parents are sacrificing their retirement savings to support adult children. That support includes everything from paying cell phone and credit card bills to car costs. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials down 10 points. The Nasdaq is down just over 1 point, and the S&P 500 also down almost 2. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. She's in the radio suite on this Wednesday. How are you?
Yep. For just a couple more minutes, I'm going to head over towards the east side of town today. Jim Mulhern, president and CEO of the National Milk Producers Federation's in town. He's meeting with the Farm First Dairy Cooperative for their board of directors meeting. Yesterday, he was one of several farm organizations, farmers, that met up in Bangor. The Farmers for Free Trade is the name of the group that was gathered together, and they wanted to make sure that elected officials know just how important it is to ratify the U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement. One of the farmers that was there yesterday is A.V. Roth from Wazeeka. He is a Wisconsin pork producer that is next in line to be president of the National Pork Producers Council. And he says these trade disruptions are just doing terrible damage to the economics, not just of pork producers, but of all of agriculture. He said 3 of the top 4 markets for U.S. pork are targeted for retaliatory tariffs. And he said only because of African swine fever decimating the hog population in China has the United States been able to get some of our pork back into China. Last week was a big week, he said, as far as China purchasing U.S. pork. Somewhere in the neighborhood, well, let's just say more than it's seen previously. But there's a 62% tariff on the U.S. pork going back into China. So they're really paying the price for that protein. Dairy today, again, a little bit mixed, not as bad as it was yesterday. Barrel cheese is up 2.5 at $1.60. 40-pound block cheese down 1/4 again today, $1.67. Double A butter down 0.75 at $2.25.5. Thank goodness we've got the nice weather out there, Mark, because that is the only kind of therapy that Wisconsin farmers have to take their mind off these prices these days. So I'm going to go find out what Jim Mulhern has to say about the long game for Wisconsin farmers.
All right. Have fun. We'll see you later.
See you later. Mm-hmm.
And Dave is here now with the forecast. I'm not sure the farmers are going to like this too much.
Yeah, we have some chillier weather on the way for the weekend, but at least we have the sunshine in place right now. We're going to sandwich in between 2 systems here across southern Wisconsin. The first to our north will actually bring a cold front in by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. Could spark some showers, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. But this second low pressure system getting a little bit too close for comfort for some of our friends south of Madison, but it really does look like that rain is starting to fall apart at the present time. Still, though, we've seen some higher level clouds move into portions of southern Wisconsin. That's kept our temperatures down a few degrees from where they probably should be for this time of day. Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam looking at partly sunny skies, and similar story with some of those higher level cirrus clouds off in the background there on the Edgewater Skycam overlooking Madison. 61 degrees in Madison. It's still very, very nice outside. Make no mistake about it. 61 in Watertown. We're into the mid-60s in Janesville, where we've had a little bit more sunshine today. Lone Rock and Boscobel, those temperatures into the mid and about to enter the upper 60s. Wind speeds not too bad today out of the south and southwest at about 10 miles per hour, gusting closer to 15 in spots, but that's a wind that definitely we can handle across southern Wisconsin. Now, our high temperature trend over the next couple of days, we're staying at or above normal for today, tomorrow, and into Friday. But look what happens this weekend. We get a system to come through, and it does look like over the last 12 hours or so, that system has tracked farther north, which is good news if we don't want to see any snow at the end of April, which I think could be the case for some of our friends just to the north. But temperatures will be struggling to get out of the mid-40s on Saturday. We're back into the 50s on Sunday, and then we'll be below average until we get to really the start of May. And that means for the Crazy Legs Classic, it's not really going to be classic late April weather. We're talking about temperatures starting off the race in the upper 30s, and then with rain, a good bet for much of the morning hours. Temperatures by noon into the mid 40s, but it will feel like the 30s, cloudy and chilly with that northeast wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Definitely going to need that rain gear on Saturday. So let's take a look a little bit closer to today's forecast, with those temperatures reaching the upper 60s, close to 70, with mostly sunny skies in place across southern Wisconsin. Then I mentioned that cold front. It arrives by the time we get to tomorrow. Variably cloudy skies throughout Thursday and a few raindrops possible. That front is pretty weak that will come through, so really not expecting much in the way of rainfall unless we're talking a little bit closer to the lakeshore. We could get a little bit more in the way of some rain in that neck of the woods. And then as we look at the European model, as we get closer to this weekend, I mentioned the track of this system heading a little bit north on our latest forecast models, which is good news. Keeps a lot of that snow farther north of us, and we're just dealing with rain, maybe some mixed precipitation trying to form at times, but I think those temperatures are going to be just warm enough where we'll just be dealing with a cold rain, kind of a chilly and raw day on the way for Saturday. And then Sunday, those temperatures do get back closer to 50 degrees. By the time we get to later Sunday, about a half an inch to an inch of rain possible for southern Wisconsin, so we'll watch that closely because we really don't need any more heavy rain to come our way. Your 10-day forecast showing the chillier temperatures this weekend. We're back near 60 by the time we get to the middle of next week. Plenty more chances for some showers and possibly some thunderstorms as we get into the start of next week.
A little something for everyone there.
Yeah, exactly. If you like any type of weather, you can find it on that 10-day.
Saturday does not sound good.
Yeah, not really.
All right, Dave, thank you. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at noon. How an idea by 2 Massachusetts students is encouraging drivers leaving their school to stop and think. We'll explain after this. Well, the crosswalk in Medford, Massachusetts appears to rise up off the street. It was a safety idea thought up by 2 elementary students. As David Wade reports, the crosswalk makes you stop and think.
I love it. It looks amazing, exactly how I pictured it and more.
It's an amazing illusion painted on the driveway of the Brooks Elementary School in Medford. Pops right up at you.
When you're walking across, you can tell that it's painted, but what we hope is when you're driving down, you'll see it as like 3D, three-dimensional, so it looks real.
And that will encourage drivers leaving the school to stop. The unique crosswalk is the brainchild of Eric and Issa. They wanted to do something when Eric's brother had a close call with a car.
We were thinking of a way we could do something to help make our streets safer.
The kids are part of the Center for Citizenship in Medford, an organization that encourages young people to get involved.
I think it's great. It certainly would make me stop.
Mike Coates is a teacher and advisor for the center. He says the kids worked with the city's bureaucracy to make the project happen.
This is a great example of them sticking to an idea and going through all the steps and talking, in this case, to all the adults and the powers that be.
It took a year before the project got the green light.
Books don't teach you this. Civic engagement is something that you see happen, you see success, and then you try to emulate it and do more.
Yeah, hope it works.
Dave's here with one final check of the forecast. That'd make you stop, right?
Yeah, that is an
Very
awesome
cool.
story for sure. And this forecast kind of makes you stop and be thankful for the sunshine. We do have a little bit of rain shower activity just to the south of us. I think that's where it will stay throughout the day. And temperatures will be in the upper 60s later on this afternoon.
All right, enjoy your afternoon. We'll see you back here at 4.